All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Diamond Jubilee event of Gujarat High Court at 10:30 a.m. today. Health Minister Harshvardhan says 22 countries requested India for supply of COVID-19 vaccines. Jammu and Kashmir government restores 4G mobile internet service in entire Union territory. Assam government to distribute 3,000 rupees each to nearly 7.5 lakh people under Cha Bagicha Dhan Puruskar scheme today. India's forex reserves jumped by $4.85 billion to record high of $590.18 billion. And in cricket, England to resume the first innings at the overnight score of 263 for 3 against India on the second day of the Chennai Test. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address an event marking the Diamond Jubilee of Gujarat High Court at 10:30 a.m. today through video conferencing. He will also release a commemorative postage stamp marking the completion of 60 years of the establishment of the High Court. Law and Justice Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, judges of the Supreme Court and Gujarat High Court, and Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani will be present on the occasion. Members of the Law Fraternity of Gujarat will also be present during the event. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the Gujarat High Court judges and members of its bar through video conferencing. He will also release a commemorative postage stamp on the Diamond Jubilee of the Gujarat High Court. According to the Gujarat High Court sources, the entire function will be held in virtual mode. The High Court of Gujarat was established after the state of Gujarat was carved out from erstwhile Bombay State in 1960. It was set up in Narol from where it was shifted to Income Tax Circle in Ahmedabad. Now it is functioning at Sola campus in Ahmedabad since 1998. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has asserted that the government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is committed towards the development of Gao, Garib and Kisan in the country. Mr. Tomar was speaking while participating in the discussion in the Rajya Sabha yesterday on the motion of thanks on the President's address. The Agriculture Minister said that despite holding a series of threadbare level talks with the farmer unions, none of the unions could come up with any flaw in the farm laws.
भारत सरकार नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नेतृत्व पूरी तरह किसानों के प्रति प्रतिबद्ध है, किसानों के प्रति समर्पित है। हम लोगों ने लगातार उनको सम्मान देने की कोशिश की है, 12 बार ससम्मान बुलाकर बातचीत की है। हमने जो उनकी भावना के अंतर्गत जिन बिंदुओं को चिन्हित किया जा सकता था, उनको भी चिन्हित करके बताया कि आपको यह शंका है कि एपीएमसी खत्म हो जाएगी, तो हम इस पर विचार करते हैं, एपीएमसी खत्म नहीं होगी। हमने एक के बाद एक उनको प्रस्ताव देने का भी प्रयत्न किया, लेकिन मैंने साथ में ये भी कहा कि अगर भारत सरकार किसी भी संशोधन के लिए तैयार है, इसके मायने ये नहीं लगाना चाहिए कि किसान कानून में कोई गलती है, लेकिन किसान आंदोलन पर है, पूरे एक राज्य में गलतफहमी का शिकार हैं लोग।
Responding to multiple queries of the opposition members regarding contract farming in the Farm Acts, the minister emphatically asserted that in order to protect the interests of the farmers, the provisions of the new laws allow farmers to move out of the contract any time. The Agriculture Minister said the government is committed towards the goal of doubling farmers' income, and the new farm laws are an instrument to achieve the same. Mr. Tomar said the government provided 1 lakh crore rupees for creation and upscaling of agriculture infrastructure in the country.
एक तरफ किसान को एमएसपी लागत पर 50% मुनाफा जोड़ के दिया जाना शुरू हुआ है, वहीं दूसरी तरफ अगर देखेंगे तो 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड भी खेती के क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भर पैकेज के अंतर्गत दिया गया। सिर्फ खेती के लिए नहीं, फिशरीज के लिए 20,000 करोड़ रुपया, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री के लिए 15,000 करोड़ रुपया, हर्बल खेती के लिए 4,000 करोड़ रुपया, फूड प्रोसेसिंग के लिए 10,000 करोड़ रुपया। ऐसे ये कोशिश की गई है कि खेती में जो निवेश की जरूरत है वह निवेश खेती तक पहुंचे।
The discussion on the motion of thanks concluded yesterday before the House was adjourned for the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will reply to the discussion in the upper house on Monday.
The Prime Minister has said that Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has elaborately mentioned every aspect of the new farm laws. In a tweet, the Prime Minister shared a video link and urged the people to listen to Mr. Tomar's remarks given in the Rajya Sabha. Elaborate security arrangements have been made in Delhi today, keeping in view the proposed Chakka Jam by several farm unions. Security has been beefed up in several places of the national capital, and heavy deployment of police has been made to thwart any untoward incident. The centre has proposed to more than double the allocation for the micro, small and medium enterprises or MSMEs in the budget for the next fiscal. It has made provisions of 15,700 crore rupees for the sector. More from our correspondent.
MSMEs and other user industries which were severely hit by a recent sharp increase in iron and steel prices are bound to get the much needed boost in the budget. The government has proposed to reduce the customs duty uniformly to 7.5% on semis, flat and long products of non-alloy, alloy and stainless steels. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman proposed to revoke anti-dumping duties and countervailing duties on certain steel products to provide relief to metal recyclers. The proposal provides for exempting duty on steel scrap for a period up to 31st March next year. The duty on copper scrap is being reduced from 5% to 2.5% to provide relief to copper recyclers. As an incentive to exporters of garments, leather and handicraft items, the government is rationalizing exemption on import of certain kind of leathers as they are domestically produced in good quantity and quality, mostly by MSMEs. The government is also raising customs duty on finished synthetic gemstones to encourage their domestic processing. The government is uniformly reducing the basic customs duty rates on caprolactam, nylon chips and nylon fiber to 5%. This will help the textile industry, MSMEs and exports. The budget also provides for the introduction of a special framework for debt resolution in respect of MSMEs. Through these steps and a higher allocation for the MSME sector, the government aims at achieving inclusive development and the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Pragya Devra, AIR News, Delhi.
The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) has said that the monetary policy review has decided to continue with an accommodative stance of monetary policy to maintain status quo on key policy rates. This will continue as long as necessary, at least through the current financial year and into next year, to revive growth and mitigate the impact of COVID-19. The repo rate is kept unchanged at 4% and the reverse repo rate at 3.35%. RBI has extended the moratorium. While announcing the policy review yesterday, the RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said that GDP growth is projected at 10.5% in the financial year 2021-22.
GDP growth is projected at 10.5% in 21-22, in the range of 26.2% to 8.3% in H1 and 6% in Q3 of the coming financial year, that is 21-22.
The country's foreign exchange reserves rose by $4.85 billion to touch a record high of $590.18 billion in the week ended on 29 January. Forex reserves rose on account of an increase in foreign currency assets, FCA, a major component of the overall reserves. FCA increased by $5.03 billion to $547.22 billion. Expressed in dollar terms, the foreign currency assets include the effect of appreciation or depreciation of non-US units like the euro, pound and yen held in the foreign exchange reserves. The gold reserves declined by $164 million to $36.29 billion in the week ended January 29th.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Diamond Jubilee of Gujarat High Court at 10:30 a.m. today. Health Minister Harshvardhan says 22 countries requested India for supply of COVID-19 vaccines. Jammu and Kashmir government restores 4G mobile internet service in entire Union territory. Assam government to distribute 3,000 rupees each to nearly 7.5 lakh people under Chah Bagicha Dhan Puraskar scheme today. India's forex reserves jumped by $4.85 billion to a record high of $590.18 billion. And in cricket, England too resumed their first innings at overnight score of 263 for 3 against India on second day of Chennai Test. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Health Minister Harsh Vardhan has said that 22 countries have requested India for the supply of COVID-19 vaccines. The minister informed the Lok Sabha that India has already supplied corona vaccines to 15 countries. Dr. Harsh Vardhan said the vaccines have been supplied both as grant assistance and contract doses.
इस समय हमारे को भारत को दुनिया के 22 देशों से वैक्सीन लेने के लिए मांग मिली है. इन देशों का नाम है अफगानिस्तान, अल्जीरिया, बांग्लादेश, बहरीन, भूटान, ब्राजील, इजिप्ट, कुवैत, मालदीव, मॉरिशस, मंगोलिया, मोरक्को, म्यांमार, नेपाल, निकारागुआ, ओमान, पैसिफिक आइलैंड, सऊदी अरेबिया, सिचिलीज, साउथ अफ्रीका, श्रीलंका और यूएई. इन देशों में से 15 से ज्यादा देशों को वैक्सीन ऑलरेडी दी जा चुकी हैं. ये ग्रांट असिस्टेंस के रूप में भी और कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड डोजेज के रूप में भी दी गई है. 2 फरवरी का अगर मैं आपको डाटा बताऊं तो 56 लाख डोजेज जो है वो ग्रांट के रूप में इन देशों में दी जा चुकी हैं और 105 लाख डोजेज जो है वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड डोजेज के रूप में दी जा चुकी हैं.
Meanwhile, India has become the fastest country to complete 50 lakh COVID-19 vaccinations in 21 days. While the US took 24 days and the UK 43 days, Israel took 45 days to complete 50 lakh vaccination. Briefing media in New Delhi, Additional Secretary in the Health Ministry, Dr. Manohar Agnani, said that a total of 52,90,474 beneficiaries have been vaccinated till 6 p.m. yesterday. He said a total of 1,04,781 sessions have been held till now. Dr. Agnani said 3,31,029 beneficiaries were vaccinated all over the country yesterday.
By 6 p.m., the sessions which were held in all states and UTs, a total of 3,31,029 beneficiaries have been vaccinated. So total hospitalization till date are 27, which comes to 0.0005%, and no event of hospitalization in past 24 hours. Death reported so far are 22. New death reported in past 24 hours is 1, and none of these deaths have been causally linked with COVID-19 vaccination. A total of 52,90,474 beneficiaries have been vaccinated till 6 p.m.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 97.16% with a total recovery of over 15,000 patients in the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry has said that more than 1 crore 4 lakh people have already recovered from the infection. Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul has said that the government has allocated adequate money for vaccination against COVID-19 in the country. Dr. Paul was speaking while participating in the special public outreach program on COVID-19 of the News Services Division of All India Radio.
इस बारी बजट में जो प्रावधान हुए हैं हेल्थ के लिए और वेलबींग के लिए, उसको बहुत ही बड़े जोरों से ऊपर लाया गया है. उसमें बहुत बड़ी बढ़ोतरी करी गई है और वैक्सीन के लिए 35,000 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान किया गया है. सरकार ने बार बार कहा था कि वैक्सीन के लिए कोई रिसोर्सेज की कमी नहीं सामने आएगी और इतना बड़ा फंड जो है उसको फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर मैम ने हम सबके लिए उपलब्ध कराया है और इसका ठीक इस्तेमाल आगे किया जाए.
Dr. Paul said the vaccine also helps prevent spread of coronavirus infection.
लगभग 50 लाख व्यक्तियों को टीके लग चुके हैं अभी तक, कोविशील्ड भी और कोवैक्सीन भी दोनों को मिला के. और अब इतना एक्सपीरियंस हमारे सामने आ चुका है कि अगर हम नजर डालें कि कितने व्यक्तियों को कोई साइड इफेक्ट हुआ तो आपको हैरानी होगी कि ये संख्या केवल मात्र 0.008% है। मतलब लगभग 1100-1200 लोगों में एक व्यक्ति को थोड़ी सी दर्द कोई होती है या बुखार होता है या कोई इचिंग वगैरह कुछ होती है। मतलब कि सीरियस ऐसा साइड इफेक्ट हो के अस्पताल में ले जाना पड़े, ये तो जीरो है, बिल्कुल जीरो।
Allaying fears about the vaccine, Director of AIIMS New Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria, said that both the vaccines being used in India are effective and fully safe.
दोनों वैक्सीन का डेटा सेफ्टी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से और एफिकेसी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत अच्छा है और इसीलिए साइंटिस्ट हैं या जो साइंटिफिक लिटरेचर देखते हैं उनको ये विश्वास हुआ कि ये जो वैक्सीन है ये कामयाब है, ये हमारे देश में लगानी चाहिए और हमारे देश की जनसंख्या को देखते हुए और बाहर जो स्थिति है जहाँ पे वैक्सीन की शॉर्टेज है और जहाँ पे केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, ऐसी स्थिति हमारे देश में ना हो तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम जल्दी से ज्यादा लोगों को वैक्सीनेट करें।
In Bihar, the second phase of COVID-19 vaccination involving frontline workers is starting today. Over 2 lakh workers have so far registered for this round. 3,53,458 health workers have been vaccinated in the state so far. In all, 40,950 health workers were vaccinated against COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. No side effect has been reported from any part of the state.
Jammu and Kashmir government has restored 4G mobile internet service in the entire Union Territory. The announcement was made by government spokesperson Rohit Kansal in a tweet. The 4G internet services remain curtailed in Jammu and Kashmir since August 5, 2019, after central government revoked Article 370 of the Constitution and split the state into Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. The low-speed or 2G internet service on mobile phones was restored on 25th of January 2020. The high-speed mobile data service was restored in Ganderbal and Udhampur districts on the 16th of August 2020 on a trial basis as part of calibrated easing of restrictions. However, the ban continued on the high-speed internet in the rest of the Union Territory, with the authorities citing misuse of the internet by the terrorists. Jammu and Kashmir government has also ordered revocation of restrictions on the fixed landline internet connectivity. An order issued by the Principal Secretary Home said that the prepaid SIM card holder shall be given access to internet connectivity only after verification as per norms applicable to post-paid connections. Hoteliers, business persons and those connected with education have welcomed the decision, saying it will help the economic recovery and advance the democratization of education through technology.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will attend the third phase of Chah Baghicha Dhan Puraskar Mela in Guwahati today. Ms. Sitharaman will take part in the event as a chief guest. At the event, the Assam government will distribute financial assistance of 3,000 rupees each to nearly 7.5 lakh people belonging to tea garden areas under Chah Baghicha Dhan Puraskar scheme. Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal and Finance Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma will also attend the event. The state government started the scheme in 2017-18. So far, 5,000 rupees have been deposited to bank account holders in tea garden areas in 2 phases under the scheme. The Assam government took the initiative to open bank accounts in tea garden areas after demonetization. BJP President JP Nadda will participate in a series of programs in West Bengal today. He arrived in Kolkata last night. Mr. Nadda will be visiting the Central Institute for Subtropical Horticulture before joining over 1,000 farmers for lunch in Shahpur village of Malda district. He will also take part in a roadshow there before heading towards Nobodip in Nadia district to launch BJP's Parivartan Yatra as the party steps up its campaign to end the Trinamool Congress's 10-year-old rule in the state. BJP President will also pay tribute to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a revered saint of the Bhakti movement.
UK Secretary of State for International Trade Mary Elizabeth Truss met Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in New Delhi yesterday. Ms. Truss congratulated India for a forward-looking modern budget with its focus on investments and recovery in the post-COVID-19 world. She acknowledged India as an influential player in fintech, digital economy, startups, innovation and data. Ms. Truss complimented India on the prompt and effective response to COVID-19 pandemic. The close collaboration in the sphere of COVID vaccine demonstrated the close and trusted partnership between the two countries. She said the UK government looks forward to working closely with the world's largest democracy. President Ramnath Kovind has lauded India's strides in defence and aerospace sectors. President Kovind was speaking at the valedictory ceremony of the 13th Aero India show in Bangalore yesterday.
India 2021 is a living proof of India's ever-growing strength in the defence and aerospace sectors. The event has exhibited that the global confidence in India's capabilities is growing steadily. Today, India is not just a market, but is also a land of immense opportunities for the whole world, including in the defence sector. I am confident that the 13th edition of Aero India will contribute significantly towards strengthening India's self-reliance in the defence sector as well as establishing India as a manufacturer for the whole world.
Speaking during the valedictory ceremony, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh informed that 121 MOUs, 19 transfer of technologies, 4 handing over of new defence products, 32 major announcements and launching of 18 new products were the outcome of this edition of Aero India International event. Over 500 companies from 60 countries participated in the 3-day event and 4.5 lakh people virtually took part in the Aero India show. During the event, 35 MSMEs earned business worth 203 crore rupees.
The Centre told the Supreme Court that it is agreeable to grant one more chance to those civil service aspirants who took the exam last year during the corona pandemic and exhausted their number of attempts. The government, however, said it will not grant another chance to those hit by the age bar. The Centre's response was filed in view of a bunch of petitions filed by students seeking one more chance to appear for the examination on the ground that they could not prepare for the test due to the pandemic and were forced to appear as the government turned down their plea to defer the exam. There were 3,863 candidates who had exhausted their number of attempts while taking the test last year. Of these, 555 qualified the preliminary test, and the government's decision will benefit 3,308 candidates. There were 2,236 students who were affected by the age bar and they needed relaxation of 1 year. But the government told a bench headed by Justice A.M. Khanvilkar that it is not in favour of giving relaxation to students hit by the age bar. Minister of State for Culture and Tourism Prahalad Singh Patel co-chaired the 8th meeting of ASEAN-India Tourism Ministers with his Cambodian counterpart Thong Khong through video conferencing. The meeting was in conjunction with the 24th meeting of ASEAN Tourism Ministers MATM. The ministers reiterated the need for cooperative efforts in mitigating the impact of the pandemic on the tourism sector. The meeting concluded with a joint media statement where the ministers agreed to further enhance ASEAN-India cooperation in tourism under the framework of the Memorandum of Understanding between ASEAN and India.
The 3rd Bangladesh Film Festival 2021 opened in Kolkata yesterday. Bangladesh Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood inaugurated the festival as a chief guest. Minister for Science and Technology in the West Bengal government, Bratya Basu, and Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla took part in the event as a guest of honor. The 5-day-long festival will be showcasing 32 Bangladeshi feature films. Film on the life of Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Hasina, Our Daughter's Tale, was the inaugural film of the festival. The film is based on the life of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina of Bangladesh. Russia has expelled 3 European diplomats from Germany, Poland and Sweden for participating in rallies demanding the release of President Vladimir Putin's biggest critic, Alexei Navalny. Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that it has made formal protests to the embassies of Germany, Poland and Sweden. Representatives of these countries are said to have participated in mass demonstrations that saw thousands take to the streets and cities across Russia over the past 2 weeks. Politicians across the world have condemned the Moscow court sentence of Navalny and called for his release. A Moscow court on Tuesday sent Navalny to prison for more than 2.5 years.
In cricket, England will resume their first innings at the overnight score of 263 for 3 against India on the second day of the first test match at M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai today. The match will begin at 9:30 a.m. On the opening day yesterday, England skipper Joe Root scored a classy century in his 100th test. He was batting at 128 when stumps were drawn. Root also guided young opener Dom Sibley, who scored 87. For the host, Jasprit Bumrah claimed 2 wickets, while Ravichandran Ashwin bagged 1. Earlier, England skipper won the toss and chose to bat first. This game marks the return of international cricket in India after a year-long COVID-19 break. India played the last test match before the pandemic against Bangladesh on 22nd of November in 2019 at Eden Gardens in Kolkata. Both teams have entered the contest on the back of away series wins in the longest format of the game. India have beaten Australia 2-1 to win the Border Gavaskar Trophy, while England defeated Sri Lanka 2-0. The four-match series gets interesting as its result will decide the second finalist of the ICC World Test Championship, who will face New Zealand at their Lords in June 2021. To commemorate the birth centenary of Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, the Arya Sangeet Prasarak Mandal has organized a musical program called Abhivadan from today at Ganesh Kala Krida Manch at Swargate in Pune. The two-day program will include musical concerts as well as recollections of The program will be inaugurated at 4 p.m. today and conducted in 3 sessions. It will be attended by Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar, NCP President Sharad Pawar, Indian Cultural Relations Council President Vinay Sahasrabudhe and Pune Mayor Muralidhar Mohol. The programs will have free entry, but free passes for the event are mandatory. Eminent dignitaries from the field of music will be remembering Pandit Ji.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. The national capital Delhi is facing moderate fog. The temperature will vary between 6 and 23 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 16 and 30 degrees Celsius. Chennai had fog, mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will hover between 20 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city observed a minimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature will be around 28 degrees. Srinagar will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Temperature will hover between -3 and 8 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 20 degrees. The city will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Leh will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was -13 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 2 degrees. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -4 and 12 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will move between 5 to 18 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 4 and 20 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. Chandigarh will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature is likely to hover between 6 and 20 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. RBI says economy is moving in only one direction, up, leads Hindustan Times. Retail investor gets direct government securities access, informs the Tribune. Retail investors now allowed to buy government bonds, informs the Asian Age. 18 months after split, downgrade 4G mobile internet back in Jammu and Kashmir, states the Indian Express. Government ready to give UPSC aspirants another chance, informs the Hindu. Pfizer withdraws India application, reports Financial Express. US to take on challenges posed by China directly, says Biden, notes the Asian Age. And finally, the Times of India reports that India has inoculated over 52.9 lakh people against COVID-19 through 1,04,781 vaccination sessions in 21 days, becoming the fastest country in the world to cover 5 million people under its COVID immunization program.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Diamond Jubilee event of Gujarat High Court at 10:30 a.m. today. Health Minister Harshvardhan says 22 countries requested India for supply of COVID-19 vaccines. Jammu and Kashmir government restores 4G mobile internet service in entire union territory. Assam government to distribute 3,000 rupees each to nearly 7.5 lakh people under Cha Bagicha Dhan Puruskar scheme today. India's forest reserves jumped by $4.85 billion to a record high of $590.18 billion. And in cricket, England to resume the first innings at the overnight score of 263 for 3 against India on the second day of the Chennai Test. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.